new giveaway.
The D&D Beyond Players Bundle.
Tons of character options.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below on the video so you're entered to win a great giveaway coming from us very soon.
All right, guys, Jameson, Alex, coming at you with the next video in the optional class features from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Today we're going to be talking about the Sorcerer. So if you've not watched the other videos and the optional class feature stuff, there are multiple things that can be added to the base classes of each of the 5th edition classes. And essentially, you can either just let the players now have these options. You can reward them as boons or gifts and things in through the campaign or through quest rewards, things like that. Up to you as the DM if you decide to do so. But we'll just jump straight into it for a few new options on here.
Well, starting off with my job, which is spells. Because Sorcerer needed more spells, but they get access to more spells. Some extra cantrips, and they've got at least one spell from every single level they didn't have access to before. Of course, a handful of these are new spells from Tasha specifically, so yeah, that makes sense that they're going to be, added in as Sorcerer spells. Some of the other ones are just Sorcerer didn't have access to before, which I find it hard to believe, except for maybe just a handful of spells, I guess, that Wizard has that only Wizard gets.
Right.
Because Wizard and Sorcerer share a spell list, pretty similar.
Yeah, for the most part.
But, of course, the obvious one for thematic reasons, and for those that know, Big B's hand is there, and Big B's hand. But, yeah, so that's a thing. Also, the big thing for Sorcerer, obviously, is your Metamagic Options, and you get 2 new choices to pick from. You have Seeking Spell, which when you make an attack roll for a spell missed, you can spend 2 sorcery points, reroll the d20. You must use the new rule. You can use Seeking Spell even if you've already used a different Metamagic option during the casting of the same spell. Yes. So if you're trying to twin cast something and one of the 2 hits, you can go ahead and Seeking the one that missed of the 2 to try to go ahead and double tap where you can. And the other one is Transmuted Spell. And when you cast a spell that deals a type of damage from the following list, you can spend 1 sorcery point to change that damage type to another type on the list. And it's all the elemental stuff. It's acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, and thunder.
Yes.
Which I think is personal favorite thing on the whole thing is this Transmuted Spell. Because it allows you to get around resistances, get around immunities. Because if your best damage spell you have is Fireball at the level you're at, and you come across Red Dragon, whether it's either young at lower levels, you come across a young red dragon, you're like, well, crap, my best spell is useless. Well, 1 sorcery point says, now it's an acid ball.
There you go.
And you get around it. So, love that.
For sure. Then we have the stickler rule that kind of comes up for most of these.
Pinky out.
Level 4, we have Sorcerous Versatility. When you reach a level that grants ability score improvement feature, you can do one of the following, representing the magic within you flowing in new ways. One of the options is replace one of the options you choose from the Metamagic features with a different Metamagic option available. Replace 1 cantrip you learned from this class's spellcasting feature with another cantrip from the Sorcerer spell list. So you can swap out your Metamagic, you can swap out your cantrips whenever you get those ability score improvements. So if you've not already been allowing that, you can do it now. It's official.
It's in the book.
Yes. And then last, we have the Magical Guidance. At level 5, you can tap into your inner wellspring of magic to try to conjure success from failure. When you make an ability check that fails, you can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll the d20, and you must use the new roll, potentially turning a failure into a success. So you have something really important, really clutch that you need to persuade somebody to do something. I mean, you are a sorcerer, you can have some charisma.
Yep.
So
by default, you're not proficient in it, you still got
don't have a bard, but you got a sorcerer.
The next best thing.
There you go. So definitely a way to turn the tides.
Yep. Trying to be real sneaky that one time to sneak up on who you're trying to fight.
Yes, exactly.
You got a rogue, you got a ranger, a monk.
Everyone else is good, but
you got a sorcerer. Like, oh.
We'll see.
But of course, with a lot of this stuff, with the whole versatility thing, you said the biggest thing is if it's finally in the book, you can kind of get around the whole people being sticklers about stuff.
Right.
But I'm glad that they're adding that kind of thing because we've said this in other videos that apply to this that if you've picked a spell, a cantrip, you've picked a metamagic option that you thought, oh, this is going to be so much cool. This is really cool to use. There's a great way I'm going to be able to use this. And you've gotten to level 4 and you've barely used, right, this cantrip, or you've barely used this metamagic. You're like, God, wasted that. You feel like you're locked into that. If you've got a DM that's very stickler about if it's not in the book, you can't do it or whatever else. Or if it doesn't say you can't, if it's not specific. So now you can, which is great because that's not a game breaking thing to let somebody choose a different feature in their class. Right. Exactly. I don't think anyway. Personal opinion. Just to make sure, because that's one of those things that goes back to quality of life. People letting people play the character they want to play and enjoy the character the way they want to enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a nice quality of life improvement for most of these class options on here.
Yes.
And I think the transmuted spell, as Alex mentioned too, is just very nice to have.
Love
the ability
it.
to do that, especially with sorcerers having limited spells available compared to other casters.
Compared to all other casters,
so
not named Warlock.
Yeah, damage type can really be nice. And they're pretty common damage types to be able to swap between. So pretty good on there. But we're going to wrap it up on there. Keep it pretty short and sweet. So if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so if our new videos are coming out, so you're entered in our next round of giveaways. Almost to the 10,000 mark.
As of filming, that is. If you're watching this 2 years from now, then we've already hit it.
Yeah, we'll be at 50,000 at that point.
Holy howdy.
Big statements being made. All right, guys, I got to subscribe so we can get that mark.
Right.
All right.
That's how that works.
So share it with your friends. Get it growing. The faster we grow, the more giveaways we can do. And always read your comments and stuff down below. What do you want to see from us in the future? And as always, guys, thanks for watching.